Good afternoon, YouTube. This is man always George Page coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, we're in the last week of Black History Month. It's time flies. You as I said earlier some time ago, and this is a special month for people to recognize the contributions to our society, to our community. As you know, Black History Month was created for the month of the birth of Frederick Douglass. And you know what? Black History shouldn't just be about 1 month of the year. It should be every month of the year. I know people pushing back say, "Well, it's White History Month." Fact is, you have all the whole year, so and you will have all of history, but you want to not deny it's just 1 month out of the year. So anyway, I dedicate some time to a person of our community who has done so much. And this man, I grew up listening to his music. I'm a fan of his. He's I would say one of the greatest rappers of all time. He is a great lyricist. He's a man of knowledge, a teacher. He's one of those guys. Just really, he's like I said, he's one of the founding fathers of the rap and hip hop movement. This is one Kool D. Now, I'm not gonna say his birthday because I don't want to mess it up. But if you know what it is, you know his real name. So I'm just gonna say with Kool Mo D. The Mo is the reason why is the middle part of his first name is one part of his name. Kool. The Mo part is his short for his name, and the D is the other part of his name. But he's just a great guy. He's a legend. I mean, I listened to his music for many years coming up. I mean, been a fan of him. Now, he was born August the 8th of 1962 in Manhattan, but he grew up in Harlem. Now, he has a brother, and they were it was a small family. Their, mother was a hard worker. She had different many jobs, but their father, well, he was kind of often, like I said, he was a drunk and a fiend. He was an intellectual. He was a very kind of intelligent man, but same what he was lazy. And there was a situation where there was violence between the mother and the father. Just domestic violence. He eventually left the family. So growing up, he about around the good part of the 70s, he got up and with a group of guys. And they started a group, and he used to rap around the neighborhood and even the community. He even started working to a level where they were, making some performances. Now, one of the successes what got him attention was a battle with a rapper by near Busy B, and they had a rap battle. It was around about '81, and this rap battle was just, if you heard of it, if you know the story of it, it was just dominant. That's where he showed his skills, his intelligence. Now he got a couple other guys when they had a group called the Treacherous Three, and it was him, Special K, and LA Sunshine. And they were they had a couple of albums coming up. I mean, it was mostly rapping out of the neighborhood, around Harlem and New York and other parts of the Five Boroughs. And they had some more success, but not as well as some people thought. They had quite a few albums, but not as big as talents they were. But they one point, Mo and LA Sunshine was a part of a short-lived TV show called Rock Graffiti, and they performed and played on that show. And eventually, because of Mo's he was a very intelligent young man. He wasn't into because of the sins of his father. He wasn't into the drinking and the smoking on and drugs and all that. So he was very content. He had an interest in it. And eventually after a while, his two partners they started getting to a little too much. But one thing that made him one of his biggest successes was the movie Beat Street, where him and the Treacherous Three were in did a little montage around Christmas time. It's a classic. If you ever seen that movie Beat Street, I've seen it many times when I was coming up, and that's a classic. That's him when in the Santa Claus hat and it's doing the Merry Christmas and Good Night, dun 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 dun, dun. And that's one of the true, I would say, uh, first rap Christmas songs. But after a while, because of the success, Special K and LA Sunshine got too much into the drug scene, and Mo D really wanted to grow as an artist, so he separated himself from them. So he started, going out. He put out his first album, which had a pretty decent success, but it was as big. But around about 86, he met a young Teddy Riley, you know, and Teddy Riley was 17 at the time. And him and Teddy got together, and he put out his first album, which is Mo D. And there's some classics in that album. If you know that one, it's just some great songs come from that one. When he started out, like let me see, I'm trying to remember. There was uh, Go See the Doctor. There was Dumb Dick, and also Rock Steady. And he started getting success. He was touring around performing, and all people question, but the thing about the shades, what's the thing with the shades? Well, because of he felt like he didn't want people to see his eyes. Sometimes that's when he started. Right about the '84, he started wearing shades. But his calling card. It was the and then he started wearing those famous ski shades, which is where skis wear. Black people don't ski. Not that many of us that. But then by '87, he put out his next hit, which is the classic How You Like Me Now. Now, it was based on the fact it was his rivalry with LL Cool J. LL was an up-and-coming artist. At the time, Mo D was going to college. He was heard by this guy called James Todd Smith, who comes up LL Cool J, Lady Love Cool James. And, their rivalry was just one of the greatest rivalries in the time, one of the earliest greatest rivalries. LL, that inspired him to create The Ripper, which is one of his rap alter egos. And you remember in the the cover of the album, you had you know uh the Jeep with the Kango on the tie, because that's the big thing. You remember Ella always wore the Kango, especially the red Kango, and he had shows like songs like How You Like Me Now, the title song, and also I think one of the most popular songs was a song The Wild Wild West. That was, I mean, remember the video when they on the snow, and he's dressed up in the black hat. That was just so cool. I mean, I loved that video as a kid. I still, hell, I still watch that video now these days. And those was great hits. Also, some others like No Respect, and also I'm a Player. I mean, and then he was up there. Him and another rapper by the name of Heavy D were one of the few rappers got to work with a lot of performance outside of the rap music, with a lot of R&B artists like New Edition, and also others that were traveling around that time. They were one of the few ones, because the fact is their rap style was not as threatening in the mindset of some people. And you know what? He just traveled around and toured and performed, and just made himself. He was just that great guy, a lyricist, an artist. And then by the '89, his next album was called Knowledge is King, and it was pretty good, decent rap album. And you had one of his successes, I Go to Work, where he had like that kind of James Bond like video. I mean, he's beating the ninjas and all that, and then also there's one, They Want Money, about the chicks. And by that time, in '99, by the '90s, he was really getting some success. He was pulled in by the great Quincy Jones to perform on his Back of the Block album, and he even won a Grammy for that. But by that time, he did this something that I think some people didn't like. Um, as you know, there was a pushback by the Grammy committee not to allow was it heavy metal and any rap performances on the show. But he did a little like intro thing, for this thing. But people protested that one. I remember that because it was Will Smith. Will Smith and Fresh, like Will Smith, the Fresh Prince and Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff protested. Also, I think it was Salt and Pepper, Kid and Play, and most definitely, no questions about it. Public Enemy protested it. And by the time he got an opportunity, he had a TV show on ABC for a minute, a little hit show. You remember it, but it got canceled eventually. And then his next album came out, which was in '91, which was Funk Wisdom, and it wasn't selling too well. And his last album, '94, The Interlude, just wasn't his best. So for a while, he was out of the game. He also had dealing with tax issues. The tax man Kameth. And but he was just a smart guy. He didn't a lot of rappers who buy a lot of stuff and buy a lot of houses. He was smart with his money, but still he still tried to stay in the entertainment business. He performed at some talk shows here and there, and like and guest appearances on on some other stuff, and movies and stuff like that. And then '99, we all know the movie Wild West came out with Will Smith, and Will Smith used him for the we did MTV. I think the MTV performance. He did his version of Wild Wild West for MTV for the movie Wild Wild West. And then he also later on he performed some more movies and TV shows during his career. And then he was in the movie The New Guy, which was about in I think 2002, where Eddie Griffin, DJ Quills, also I think David Hasselhoff had a cameo at the end of that movie. It's about the guy who's a nerd, and he went to prison to learn to become a tough guy. And then he kept on going on, performing, doing guest appearances. Even he was getting honored by certain you know, celebrities, and him and his friendships with guys like Melly Mel and Grandmaster Cash, and they were just these guys are what considered the top of the cream of the crop of all rap. And he also was honored for his rap performances. He was by particularly mostly hip hop enthusiasts, and he's still one of these guys. Here him with him and Daddy Kane. This is darkness, darkness. This is truthfully, if Rick James were around, he'd call this darkness, darkness. And he got hooked up with Macklemore. Macklemore, how I call him, the guy who's considered one of the biggest rap stars. Oh my God! But he worked with Macklemore and Cash, and he kept his legend going. And a while back, I remember he did a documentary himself on the TV One series, not TV One. Sorry, uh, what's the TV One? Yeah, TV One. About himself unsung, and it's a great story. He's almost 60 years old, never been married, never had no kids. Because that type of person, he said in that interview, he's used to solitary, being a solid person. He's like an introvert, and I think that's why I like to talk about him, because the fact is we kind of have a thing in common, somewhat. He's a very intelligent man. He's one of these great rappers that I think people need to listen to his music. If you still remember Kumo D back in the day, you dance to him. Hey, if you're my age or older, hey, take your kids, sit down, listen to Kumo D, listen to his rap style, listen to his. A lot of people ate off of Modi's table. Some people learned from him. I mean, he is a teacher. He is considered a master in his own dojo. He is a sensei, of rap music. I mean, he's just one of those great guys. And that's why I want to do this video dedicated to this man, Kool D. I mean, he's just like I said, he's still wearing shades today. He's not wearing those big ski shades, but he's still wearing shades. And this is a great man, a man of intellect, a man of intelligence, a man of, just pure knowledge and pure intelligence. I just pure everything, And I like to say, I want to just say thank you, brother, for your contributions to the music, to our community, and to the world. This is my Way Judge page. Don't like, subscribe. I'm out.